Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, here with another raw edit of the week. So wow, that was bad. I was like that reporter on TV who couldn't get words out. But I was tooling or looking around the Gmail account for some different portraits, and I came across this really cool kid's portrait at the park. I mean, look at this little girl. Look at the shoes. Look at how she's just sitting there with their hands crossed and the feet all tucked under, just like she's posing. This is really cool. So I really wanted to edit this because this is called filling the frame. This is great composition. When I talk about filling the frame, this is what I'm talking about. And let's look at what this camera is. Oh, okay, that's why. Nikon D700, shot at 1/200th of a second, f2.8, ISO 200, 50 millimeters with the 24-70 2.8. Just look at the separation that the photographer was able to get shooting at 50 millimeters with this 24-70 2.8, and look at how the background blows out nicely. So this is a prime example of a major difference between something like the D3100, D3000, you know, the D90. Even the D7000 I don't think competes with, say, the D700. I tested out this week the D3S versus the D7000 at 3200 ISO, and I'm going to bring that video to you probably next week during the Fro show. But let's get into editing this photo. What do we want to do? Do we want to make it black and white? Do we want to make it color? Let's just say it's an overcast day, and some people would probably say you want to throw some fill light up in here, but whatever. I just like the candid nature of shots like this. Yeah, so here we go. Are we going to do color or are we going to do black and white? First thing, I'm going to brighten it up slightly, and then I go boomify. Yeah, too much boomify. You see we lose the eyes. This is where fill light may... I still don't like fill light, even though I say it may come in handy. I don't want to add too much yellow. But, you know, after just doing those 3.5 little tweaks, it may be time to go black and white. Let's see what happens. So there I go boom with contrast, and yes, I am losing the eyes. Too much, too much. Some people may say use the recovery, but I'm not a fan of recovery. So this is a tough image. Here we go. Can I cheat and use fill light and still make it look good? No, I'm just pulling back on the fill light. We're losing the eyes. I never dodge and burn eyes, but what can we do with this? Is this the dodge and burning tool? Or is this the burning tool? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I rarely ever touch these things. Oh, that's the clone stamp. My bad. We definitely don't want to do that. It just shows you how often I actually use this tool right here. So there's that. And let's see how this works. Hey, look, I made it so it doesn't look good. Goodbye. You are fired. Gone. Get off my screen. Goodbye. Thank you. Alright, now back to the regular edits. No, we are not cropping it because it was framed very well. I'm liking this a little bit. Fill light a little bit. Very little bit. Let's see. Very little bit, very little bit, very little bit. I think right about here, fill light is going to stop. I think this holds well. But I'm going to rest with this for the moment. Pull back. Nah, I don't like when the kids glow. I'm going to go with this, and let's make a virtual copy and see what we can do with this in color and see if we can do something with it. And maybe I'll like the color better. So we know the black levels isn't going to work uber duper well here. Wow, look at the reflection of the pink right off her face. It's really causing havoc in here. You can see right here. You can see that the pink is just reflecting back in. Color, black and white. Oh, the color is so... the black and white's flat. Look how flat that is. That's what happens when you put Mr. Fill Light into it. It goes flat. But we just lose the eyes. We're losing them. I'm going to go with that for the time being. I would love to make this pop more. And we're going to do fill light a little bit. So I'm just going to stop at this. And this is, I know it's kind of painful. It's so bright. It's, oh, blue eyes. I would love to have seen those blue eyes pop a little more if it was shot maybe the other way with the lighting source coming in, or even a reflector. But hey, I like this. It's exposed pretty well. It's just a tough situation where the photographer was shooting this. But other than that, the composition is tight, right on. That's exactly how I would want to see composition. It's nice and sharp. With that 24-70 is great, and the D700 on top of that is really good as well. So here's the color. Here's the black and white. I'm going to stop, but I really want to see what you guys are going to do with this image. So, yeah, what do you think? Do you like the color? Do you like the black and white? Let's see what Greg comes up with, and then we'll keep talking and figure out the rest. Here's Greg. Greg, you are up.
So, this photo seems to have left me wondering what to do with it. You know, do I go super high saturation and make it go boom? Or do I just, you know, give it a crap load of contrast? But if I give it a lot of contrast, I give her raccoon eyes and make her dark in the eyes, and, you know, it just doesn't work. So, at times like this, what I will do is I will scroll through these Lightroom presets and watch my navigator and see what comes up. And, you know, maybe I'll find one that I like. Now, these presets aren't necessarily where I'm going to leave it for the whole time. But sometimes it'll just give me an idea of where I want to go with it. Typically, I'll try one of these filters and then maybe check out the settings, or start with one of these presets and then make some changes from there. Like, I kind of like that split tone. It's kind of different. Same with that one. It's kind of different. But I just want something different. So, you know, trying to give us a little bit more interest. My favorite one seems to be this cream tone one. I like how it opened up her eyes. I like how it lightened up the image in general. It pushed over my histogram a little bit, which is actually a good thing. And I think I'm going to actually adjust from there. So my saturation is down pretty low, but I think I'm also going to bring my clarity down just to make it a little more kind of halo-y, or, you know, a little softer, a little something. I don't know, just gives it that nice soft feel. But I definitely want to give it some more contrast, I believe. But I'm losing my eyes, I see, when I do that. So let's dodge out the eyes and see what happens. Let's see, get my density up a little higher. That's the main thing that I see a problem with. What just happened? Right now is that the eyes just... What's going on here? Let me reset. I think I hit something weird there, and that's better. The eyes are what's really bothering me here, and I need them to stay a little bit lighter. And it's not a lot, just like usual. It's just that little touch. But I like the additional contrast. And if we would go back here, let's see. It's just that little bit that our eyes are being opened up. And so I think that helps my thoughts about the image. Now, let's play with contrast. Again, making the eyes really dark. But I don't think it's an issue. I think I can still live with it. I think I went far enough with my adjustment brush to be able to add that extra contrast. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright, now, I see temperature in this preset has been pushed pretty high. And I'm going to play with it even more and see what happens. Just slide it around. See if I can adjust it even more or get something a little bit different than what is already been done. This is definitely a different effect. I kind of like that creamy tone to it, which is why they call it cream tone. You know, it's kind of got that. It's not yellowy, but it's almost black and white, but it has still kind of has a split tone kind of a feel to it, and so I like that. I like that. Now, I don't think I'm gonna want to resaturate anything, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Split toning, I don't think I want to play with that at all. Detail, I think our sharpness is actually pretty good. Looks like the focus point was in the right spot. Our exposure was good, all that stuff. Lens corrections, same thing. I don't think there's anything we need to adjust. Maybe just a hair of a vignette, although whatever lens was used, I believe it has just enough of a vignette effect. Let's find out what actually lens was used. Oh, it was a 50mm lens that was used. So that's why we have a little bit of a vignette around here, I believe. But anyway, you know, I might actually try and add some grain. You never know. You never know. Let's try it, and we'll see. No, I don't think I like it. I think I'm going to go back to where I was without the grain and just a little bit of vignette, because I like how smooth her skin is there. And so I believe that's it. Let's see, predictions. I would say my prediction for Jared's photo is that he went straight black and white, or he went really, really heavy saturation and just tried to push it that way. But again, this is a photo that just hit me as I don't know what to do with it. So I wanted to try something different. So take a look through these presets with the navigator on. See if they give you any ideas. You never know. So let's see how we did.
All right, we are back. Greg, this was one of the hardest files I've ever tried to do in the 15 weeks of doing this.
It definitely is not an easy file, I would agree.
I mean, it's like I said in my video, it's well composed. I can't believe how well this little girl's just sitting there. Right?
Well, you never know how long she was actually sitting there. It might have only been a split second.
True, may have just captured the moment properly, but wow, it just captured a really, really, really cool moment. Nice and sharp, nice and colorful in the color, but also I said in my video, using the 24-70, really blowing out the background and composing very well. I was really happy with that.
It was a 50mm.
It was a 24-70, shot at 50
At
millimeters.
50. Okay, my bad. I said that wrong in the in my video. Then
Yeah.
I was thinking it was only a straight 50, but I read the data wrong.
Yeah. Did you rip on it because of that again?
No, actually, I didn't.
Yeah, it's done really well. That it just captured the moment. I really like it. I really like it. So, what happened in your image? What did you end up doing?
Well, I actually used one of the presets I'll tell you what it's called. It's called Cream Tone, one of the Lightroom presets. And
Sure.
Sometimes when I don't know what to do with a file, I'll turn the navigator on in the develop module, and I'll just kind of run my mouse down through and try and get some ideas of how I can edit that particular file. And this is one of those times that I needed to do that.
Sure. So, I mean, I didn't even think about going through there. That's a good thing that you did, and it also brings up that question. Or there's also other programs like Nick Filters and all those other things that have all these different effects that you can do. And I know you and I, we try not to get into those effects, but how many of you out there use presets either in Lightroom or other plugins? I almost like plugins, other plugins that you can use with Lightroom. So how many of you out there do that? Leave a comment below. We'd love to see what you're using, because maybe we can try it and test it out, and maybe other people will like to try it. So what do you think of my edits, Greg?
I called it.
What'd you call?
I called it. I said you either going to go really saturated or a black and white, and you did both.
I did both because I started with black and white and then wasn't happy enough with it because it was too flat. So then I added some more pop to it, and then I didn't like it. And then I'm like, I might as well go do a color to see how it is. And I actually think I like the color a little better than my black and white. And your cream tone it's cream tone. I mean, it's a tough image. I don't think there is a wrong way to do this. Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong way to do this image.
Well, the one thing that I noticed that I definitely wanted from the very beginning was her eyes to be very apparent and not get dark.
Sure. So what'd you do to keep that from happening?
Hit the adjustment brush just a little bit in her eyes to open it back up. That, and brought the clarity down to give her that little bit of that halo effect, and that opened it up just enough to keep that from happening. You can see how the eyes in my photo were just a little bit lighter.
Yep.
And I think they look a little nicer than the raccoon eyes from yours.
Well, the funny thing is, I was like, yeah, I don't dodge and burn here in Lightroom ever, so let me click on this button and do it. And then I hit the clone stamp on the eye. I was like, oh, it shows you how much I actually use that other thing. But I didn't really want to take the time to edit the eyes, but I really wanted to, and I did. That's why I attempted to, and I was like, this isn't my thing. I'm just going to stick with it and not do it.
I guess I'm going to have to watch your video and see if you really actually did that or not.
I did. I actually did. I actually started with the clone stamp by accident, thinking that was the dodging and burning tool, when I should have been hitting that thing that's on the far right. But anyway... Yep. What else? What else you have to say? Did you add some vignetting to yours?
Just a touch.
All right.
Just a touch. Not much. The lens or the lighting, whatever it is, actually had a pretty good amount of vignette. Yeah. But I added maybe, I don't know, 10% or so more. It wasn't very much.
Sure. Well, I like it. I mean, I don't think there's a wrong way. So in closing, let's see what you guys come up with. If you do use presets, well, go ahead and actually use a preset. We could end up with 50 different examples of presets in this in the forum posting. So be sure to download the raw file over there at the forum. You can see the link below on the website, froknowsphoto.com, because you should be watching it there. And click over to the forum, download that file, and then post it when you're done editing it. Don't forget to post your edits so everybody knows what you did. That's about it, Greg. What else do you have? Anything?
So what do you think of mine? Do you absolutely hate it or what?
I'm indifferent. I think they all would serve a purpose, and I think if you printed any one of them, whoever's child this was would really love any one of them. No, I like it. I like the vignetting that you did. It gives it a 1930s old world feel, and I actually like that feel. Yeah,
something different.
Yep, something different. So let's see what you guys come up with. If you want to send your raw file to us to edit, it is froknowsphoto@gmail.com. I just looked in that box. It's almost full, Greg, 91%. I started to go through, and I had to go look at some of them and then delete them after I was done looking at them.
That's a lot of space.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when people are sending raw files. That's why they don't send them directly to us. So, Greg, nice job this week. I think I like it. Let's see what everybody comes up with. Don't forget to comment below with what presets you actually use so we can take a look. Jared Poland, froknowsphoto.com. See ya!